What is up, everybody? The Real Train King Productions 2025 back again, here for a brand new and very special unboxing video. I do apologize for the lack of unboxing videos, you guys. I've just been very busy with stuff. Not to mention as well, I've been doing different kinds of content on my channel in the meantime. Like, this past Sunday, I uploaded 2 voice impression videos. The first one, which a lot of you guys loved, which was me doing 5 different characters. Brer Bear, Brer Fox, Brer Rabbit, Quetzal, Atoum from Tuttenstein, as well as Lucius from Harry Potter. 6 characters altogether. And I'm really glad you guys really enjoyed that video. And I also did a Thomas and Friends one as well, where I did most of the characters I knew at the very top of my head. And a lot of you guys really did seem to enjoy that video as well. But in today's video, this is a model I know you guys have been wanting me to review for a long time. This one, after a lot of delays, after all kinds of waiting, the moment has finally come. In today's video, I will be unboxing and taking a first look at one of the coolest 80th anniversary Thomas and Friends items, the Ruby Thomas. So before we do get into this unboxing video, I do have a couple of important announcements to make. After this unboxing, this is going to be it for unboxing videos for a long time. Now, don't freak out, you guys. Don't worry. There will still be more unboxings along the way. I'm going to be doing a poll for you guys next, seeing which Thomas items you guys think I should unbox for you guys as well. That's part of the 80th anniversary line. Like the Storybook Thomas, which I have seen pictures of on other social medias like Instagram, and it looks really, really cool. Same thing with the new Sodor Adventure Pack with Annie and Clarabelle. So yeah, I do hope you guys understand this big change. Not to mention too, I will be doing more voice impression videos as well. So yeah, I hope you guys understand this big change in content. But in this video, we're going to be comparing this Thomas, the 80th anniversary Ruby one here. Let me actually move my camera just slightly. We're going to be comparing this Thomas to the standard push-along Thomas that I unboxed and reviewed for you guys a while ago, as well as comparing the finish on this Thomas to one of the most beloved monster trucks I have, which has a similar red, the Metallic Destroyer. So yeah, now with this 80th anniversary Thomas, just like with most Thomas items, I'll be sharing my pros and cons, plus the things I do wish were changed. But yeah, the other announcement I have to make as well regarding my Lionel Train videos, you're going to see more Lionel Train content mainly during late October into November, such as some more train sound showcases, like every single sound on an engine, as well as seeing I'm so sorry, you guys, I do tend to stutter sometimes. Seeing the sounds on other engines, like the Lionel Bluetooth Thomas, which I got not long ago. So yeah, now, with all those announcements out of the way, let's get into what you guys have all been waiting for. The unboxing and first look at the 80th anniversary Ruby Thomas. I'm going to move my camera just slightly a little bit, you guys. Here we go. So, before we do unbox this model and take a look at it in more detail, let's take a look at the packaging. Compared to most of the 80th anniversary Thomas items, which I'll grab one for an example, compared to most of the 80th anniversary Thomas engines and their package-wise, this Thomas has a very different packaging. It has more of that red, you have the 80th anniversary Mattel logo, Not to mention, you actually have a pretty cool Thomas & Friends logo with the Fisher-Price logo above it. And you get a good look at the model. And here is a package comparison for an example. Here, this is one of the Jameses that I got a while ago. And you can tell that the packaging is very, very different on these two. You can tell with the Ruby Thomas, it actually has more of that reddish look to celebrate the occasion and also the anniversary of Mattel. As for the Push Along James, you can tell it has more of that blue swoosh look, as well as a beautiful Thomas & Friends logo. You can see the model very clearly, just like how you can with the Ruby Thomas. And you can also see a very beautiful CGI render of the character, as well as the 80th anniversary logo. Just thought I'd compare the two packages. Honestly though, they still do their job pretty well, where you see the model and also a lot of different beautiful art to sell the product. Now, with the packaging comparison aside, let's actually take a look at the packaging itself. The packaging is very, very nice. I love the red here. It kind of reminds me a little bit of Gryffindor from Harry Potter. You know, the Gryffindor logo. It kind of reminds me of that a little bit. But also the white makes it kind of remind me of a candy cane. I know it's not Christmas yet, but I just thought I'd mention that. I just love that little bit of detail. I also really like the little bits of the Mattel logo they have right here, which is very, very nice. And you also have a very nice and bold 80th anniversary Mattel logo. Now, I know I'm not the biggest supporter of Mattel for what they have done to the Thomas & Friends franchise. Like, All Engines Go, and just making the engines move around like mechanical bouncy balls, and especially the Learning with Thomas. However, I will applaud them for getting the Thomas toys like how they used to be, like how I mentioned a while ago, how they got Thomas just right, as well as that nod to Ertl with the fake side rods. So yeah, overall though, the packaging itself is very, very nice. And if we take a look at the back of the packaging, there's not very much to go by here. You do have the traditional Thomas & Friends logo. You also have the Hit Entertainment logo, as well as attention and stuff like that in different languages. Plus also Thomas. Now this Thomas is actually part of a 80th anniversary Mattel lineup that Mattel has been doing for a lot of their different toys. My mom, who's a big Barbie fan, she actually bought the Barbie, which actually does look pretty cool. And in a way, that's part of this lineup. I just thought I'd mention that. Now, as great as of packaging as this Thomas has, I do have some criticisms with the back. I do really wish they added a collect them all at the back. Like, oh, collect them all. Collect Percy, collect Thomas, collect James, or collect Henry. But you really don't get that here. And that's kind of a big letdown in my opinion. I do really applaud though that you have the classic Thomas right there, along with created by Britt Allcroft. She'll rest in peace. But yes, I do really wish that they added that to the back of the box. Overall, with those criticisms aside, this Thomas model this packaging is actually very, very nice. Now, let's get into the big moment you guys have been waiting for. The moment of truth. Let's unbox this model. Now, just like with most Thomas toys or anything you guys do ever buy, like a model car, a model train, or a monster truck, that's a pretty rare kind, be very careful opening up the model. So I'm going to be very careful opening the model out of the box. Man, they really did package this model really good. Alright, so we have the packaging aside. Give me one moment here, you guys. This is taking me a second here. There we go. All right, now I'm going to be extremely careful taking out Thomas and his two trucks. Ooh, holy cow, those are shiny. Got the trucks first. They look absolutely beautiful. And Thomas himself. Now, holding this model in my hand, this is without a doubt one of the best special edition models of Thomas in a very long time. Now, I do know at the beginning of this year, I did unbox the 60th anniversary Plarail Thomas, which actually did have a very, very nice metallic blue. But the Ruby Thomas, oh my goodness, is that red shiny. So before we do take a look at the trucks and compare this Thomas to this Thomas, let's take a look at the model in detail, shall we? The detailing on this model is very nice. It's very, very TV show accurate. I really do love the number 1. His side tanks are very well designed. Same thing with his wheel arch, as well as the wheels. Again, this model does indeed look very similar to the original, as you guys see here. But they did make some changes to it. This Thomas has a more like seasons 1 through 5 look, whereas the original has more of a seasons 23 and 25, or no, 23 through 24 vibe. So yeah, I just thought I'd mention that. The sides are very well done. He has a very crisp number 1. The whistles are also very nicely done. Not to mention they're actually solid. They look solid gold, which is very nice. And also he has a very different face. This Thomas is more looking at his friends in a way. As you could tell, Thomas is looking more to the left. He's basically, in a way, saying, "Hello, Percy," or "Hello, James. What are you doing today?" And honestly, I do like that look, because we don't want to have this Thomas have that more cheekier look like the original. But yeah, now onto the big one. Oh yes. What do I think of the metallic finish on this model? Honestly, holding the model in my hand, the finish itself is actually very pretty. I like the silver that they used on the rods. Like if you have it in a light, you can actually see the shimmer. And I really, really like that touch. I also really like the red that's in the front of the model, where if it's in a light, it actually really shines. And honestly, it's a very good red. This red, in many, many ways, reminds me of Christmas. The kind you would see on an ornament. Same thing with the backside here. Very cool, very cool. Overall though, Thomas himself is very, very nice. Now, like with most Thomas models, there can't be a positive without a negative. One thing I did forget to mention is Thomas's front buffers are indeed painted, which is a very nice touch. However, if we look at the back of the model, his back buffers aren't painted. And that's a huge letdown in my opinion. Because on other Thomas models, especially the metallic take-alongs, as well as the metallic take-and-plays, the back buffers are always painted. And I don't understand why Mattel didn't paint the buffers, which is a huge letdown in my opinion. But overall though, Thomas himself is very nice. This is by far, in my opinion, you guys, the 180th anniversary model I was the most excited for to come out. Because I'm a huge fan of metallic items. And finally actually owning this model, I really, really love it. So yeah, Thomas himself, I'm going to give him a 9 out of 10 and a 4 out of 5 stars. it's still a good model, just with one criticism. Overall though, Thomas himself, a beautiful metallic addition to the push-along lineup. Now, let's take a look at his freight cars. His very shiny metallic ruby cars. Now, I do know some people don't like how these have the All Engines Go tooling, and I completely agree with that. I may not be a huge AEG fan, but to be honest, these cars, despite the All Engines Go tooling, they actually look very nice. They're very shiny. The silver on these definitely reminds me of the... what was that one metallic model that Take Along made? Oh, the metallic Spencer. That's how shiny these are. They also remind me of a pretty cool Lionel Berkshire, the 115th anniversary Berkshire. Yeah, the silver on these definitely is very, very nice. They're very reflective too in the light. And also, if I'm not mistaken, you can actually remove the little metallic red diamonds and put them back on. That's a nice little playability feature. I really do like that. As shiny and cool as these trucks are, I don't like how they do use the All Engines Go tooling, especially how tiny they are compared to Thomas. Like, here, I'm going to use my original Thomas as an example. So, if you put these models like this, they're so small next to Thomas. Yeah, I don't really like how small these trucks are. But yeah, besides their criticisms and how they do use the All Engines Go tooling, these are very nice trucks. And I really do like the metallic finish on these. It definitely does sell the 80th anniversary special edition look. Overall though, these trucks are pretty nice. I'm going to give them a 7 out of 10 with a 4 out of 5 stars. Now, let's get into the moment you guys have all been waiting for. Comparing the Ruby Thomas to the original push-along Thomas. So straight away, the differences are very noticeable. The original has a more cheeky looking face, like he's saying, "Wake up, lazy bones, do some hard work for a change. You can't catch me," kind of look. Like that very cheeky, classic era / early Brenner era look. The Ruby Thomas has a more of, "Hey Percy, hey James, what's going on? What can I help you with?" kind of look. And I do like how they do have different faces. This is a classic Thomas kind of face. The Ruby Thomas has a more calm and more nice smile kind of look. Their wheels are pretty much the same. Same thing with their rods. But the big difference is the classic Thomas doesn't have a metallic finish. This Thomas is more designed for like displays or for the younger demographic. And of course, older fans, like me and many others. The Ruby Thomas has a more metallic red to his footplate, which looks very, very nice. And his rods are actually silver, whereas the original, they're more of a darkish gray. And also their sides are very different as well. The original has bolts and handrails to reflect more seasons 23 and 24, whereas the Ruby Thomas has a more classic seasons 1 to 7 vibe. You guys see what I mean? Yeah. But they do have one criticism in common, and that's that sorry about that, you guys. I stutter sometimes. That their back buffers aren't painted. Yeah. But overall, though, their main differences are still the same. But their big differences is their whistles. The Ruby Thomas has an actual gold-plated whistle, which looks very, very nice. And the traditional classic Thomas has the more just blankish gold whistles. But overall though, these models do their jobs very well. This model was mainly designed for the 80th anniversary of both Mattel and Thomas and Friends. This one is more designed for like displays or to give to your younger nephew, stuff like that. But yeah, both these Thomases though are very great models. Now on to the big comparison. The last comparison before I share my concluding thoughts on this Thomas. Comparing the metallic red finish on this Thomas to the metallic Destroyer monster truck. Now I've had this monster truck, you guys, since I was really little. That's why it does have some wear and tear. But yeah, the finish, comparing the finish on this to the Ruby Thomas. So here are the models side by side. You could tell that the Destroyer monster truck has more of that like darker burgundy red, which of course makes it stand out because this monster truck was released in 2010-2011 as part of a tattoo pack. The Ruby Thomas has more of that Christmas red, the kind that you would find on ornaments, on Santa decorations, stuff like that. And you can really tell their finishes are very different. Overall though, which finish do you guys like better? The Ruby Thomas or Destroyer's metallic finish? The metallic monster truck Destroyer's finish. Alright, now for concluding thoughts. What do I think of the 80th anniversary Ruby Thomas? Honestly, after waiting about a month and a half for this Thomas, since my dad did pre-order it, it was worth the wait. As someone who does love metallic related merchandise, like Thomas and Friends, Monster Jam, some Marvel items as well, including Christmas decorations, this is a very, very good 80th anniversary Thomas toy. For a couple of reasons. One, it honors classic Thomas with the level of details, the face, but also it's an anniversary item as well with the metallic finish, as you guys can see there, as well as just the overall charm of the model. Overall though, in conclusion, I'm going to give this Ruby Thomas a 9 out of 10, as well as a 4.8 stars. It may have some small criticisms, but if you look past those criticisms, it is still a very good model. And I'm definitely excited to display this model on my desk, as well as to show it to some of my fans and friends, including Thomas the Tank Engine and Egyptian Productions 2025. Well, anyways, you guys, I hope you enjoyed this unboxing and first look at the 80th anniversary Ruby Thomas. What do you guys think about this model? Tell me in the comments section below. Well, this has been the Real Train King Productions 2025 signing off, and I really hope you guys have a good day, evening, or afternoon. Bye-bye!